Mr. Trev, how are you?
All right, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm not too bad. It's been a bit tough at work recently, but yeah, no, can't lie. I am good. We've lived to fight another day.
Yeah, I think we were both saying just before we come on, like we're both doing long days, but it's a different type of day because although we're not, for me physically, I'm not doing much because my job allows me to work at a desk, but I'm just knackered, I'm tired. And you were saying the same.
This is what I'm really confused about this. Like, I'll be quite honest with you, that I actually think we're actually overstaffed at the moment. But I'm just shattered. Every time I get home, my eyes just feel really tired, and I just want to go to bed. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
Well, you know what, this is actually a really good opportunity for me to talk about, the real person, Malvin, as I've known you for so many years now. And similar to Tamika, really, I said when I started talking then that, I've known you since you were a young boy, really, since you were like 12 years old, was it, around that age?
That is very correct. It seems like a long way back now. I'm 25. God, 13 years ago.
Yeah, that's a long time. I might dig out an embarrassing photo to put up just to show people how you looked when you were little. But yeah, so I've known Malvin for a long time. I've been very privileged in that I worked with a load of really good young kids when I was working at a different school to the one I'm at now. And it felt special back then, to be honest. And I just knew there were gems amongst you. There were many great people. And hopefully, I'll get the opportunity to bring a few more on. As you've all grown up and gone on to great things, this is an opportunity now to sort of present back. So yeah, it's been an amazing experience from when I first met you, as I said. Do you want to sort of reminisce a bit? Let's talk about some of those school days. What do you sort of remember back then about, the day-to-day?
You see, this is crazy, and again, we spoke about this, so I know that you don't take this too personal, but I remember the first thing we always used to speak about, all of us. So Francis was one of my best friends, would come to me and say, "Are we going to Trevor's?" That was the question, and as soon as you say Trevor's, we knew we're going to. We used to hold the afternoon, after school classes, I want to call them, but it was not even a class, it was more chilled, where we would get in a room and you would be teaching us about things which we were actually not taught in our day-to-day schooling life. So those type of things really fascinated me. But like I said, I'm going to go back on my story now. Trevor's, the one thing which I remember about you, sir, was the food. The food. You knew how to attract us. You always used to have your sessions, but you'd have the food after the sessions. But the food was lovely. But it ended up becoming so much more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I should probably explain a little bit because people probably think what's this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what it is I think, many people who work in schools, myself included, of course, we're very focused, many people, on the traditional curriculum education, and don't take anything away from it. It's important you get your foundation there. But what I get frustrated with schools, and I know other people do as well, is there's so much more to life. And if you get the opportunity to sort of like talk about things like, being a good person, empathy, how to behave, in certain situations, how to bring the best out of yourself. There's a lot of frustration, especially in young people, I think, because they've got a lot of energy and they can't get it out of themselves, and they want to know, they want a bit, not even direction, they just want to hear what other people think and have a bit of an open chat. So, and the other thing for me is, I get a little bit, and I was back then more so, frustrated with the idea of what I call philosophy. I felt like there'd been like the death of philosophy, in that people weren't just having these conversations anymore. It felt as though people were getting closed down and they couldn't bring their own creative thoughts and thinking out anymore. So obviously if you go all the way back to sort of the classic philosophers, Socrates, etc., that is a grand era, and people reflect on it with a lot of romantic notion. So it's amazing people will just take to a sort of stadium and talk, or and they'd be able to just have these great theories they put out to the masses. Well, in a way, and obviously it's nowhere near as grand, my sort of thinking was we'd just get some chat going around topics which are quite interesting, things that you don't typically talk about, and things that maybe motivate people to bring their own personality to the game. Start trying to work out who they are as well. So that was it, really. It was quite a simple idea, but it just took off. And I think when you lot turned up as well, I started to realise what sort of personalities I was dealing with, and we can talk about what you've gone to in a little while. But it became clear to me as well that I had some real potential with me. You had some great kids in the room. So you said that's going back in time. That's where we got to know each other.
No, those were the good times. Those, I had no stress. No stress. All I had to turn up was to the sessions and learn. Yeah, great times.
The other thing is there's common things, for us all. We all like football, so sometimes football would come up as a conversation. There are some great footballers. Yourself, you were playing were you the first team back then? I know you went to play at the academy.
Yeah, no, at that time it was actually I was playing a good level, because I remember at that time I was playing for the first team, but I was playing for the first team for my year, but I was also playing for the sixth formers. So the sixth form, I would get invited to play for the sixth form, and I was playing for my county. I was an older shot at that time as well, so I was doing amazing in sports.
And this is what I was saying, there was so much energy in the room and lots of potential, because really wherever you directed your energy at that time, I could see it being quite successful. And there are others with us as well. You mentioned Francis just now, and there was other kids in the room, and I also saw in abundance really a lot of talent and a lot of potential. Yeah. So I felt very privileged, really privileged to be able to, at that moment in time, be a part of it. And I try and take that with me now. So I'm at a different school now, but I try and do that. I think, it's one of the great honours, really, of working in education, is that, and it's so important with young people as well, you tap into their potential. Because the worst that can happen to a young person is they get shut down. And that's it. You don't ever want to get that sort of depression that you've been told you can't do something. Because I think, sorry, go on, man.
And I feel that is very true, and I really, really agree on that point, because I'm going to put this comb to the side now, because if I'm quite honest with you, if it wasn't for you, Miss Kamak, the late Miss Kamak, may her soul rest in peace, if it wasn't for you, her, Miss Hook, and Mrs. Fisher, I'll explain to you why, because even until now, I'm still struggling with it, but I'm sure I'm trying to come out. Now, if you remember when I started at school, I was fresh from Africa, my accent was really strong, and I was a chubby kid. So before I started getting really into sports, at that time, I remember just being knocked down left, right, and centre. Everywhere was going knocked down, and my confidence was just flat. Really, really flat. And not until when I met Miss Kamak, she just really, and Miss Howard, they really just took care of me and just made me, they basically built a wall around me, which made me not see or think about what other people are saying around me, because I started going down the wrong path now, because I started getting angry and annoyed with people who were saying all these things. So when you're saying tapping into the potential and allowing the young people, or not putting the fear or stuff like that, it's very, very true, because I went through that, and to a certain degree, that's why sometimes I even spoke to you and I say sometimes I always feel like I need the need to have someone tell me, yes, you're doing the right thing, because of I'm always having that self-doubt. But I feel like if I didn't have people who battered me when I was younger, and I had people like you, like I keep on mentioning the late Miss Kamla, because she really, really done a lot in my life. And you never realised what you was doing, but you guys done an amazing job, and a really amazing job. And that's why, if you've noticed, on every single person I speak to, Trev, I will never ever say a bad word to them. But I got knocked down. You're not good enough. You'll never be good enough. Those type of words are awful. But you gave us this is how you could do it.
It's really, it's massive to me, because, as you get older in life, you feel like, what am I doing? What are we all here for? What's it about? And you think, like, what do you actually, when you get really old, what is it you actually feel you've done which is worthwhile? So, like, this is, somehow, I don't know why, for some reason, I recognised fairly early on in my life that the greatest thing I could do would be to help other people. And it was really a strong feeling. I had it probably even myself when I was quite young, and I just think that it grounded me. It made me feel my purpose. And I'm certainly not alone. I know lots of people feel the same. I do think education, in particular, as a sector to work in, it obviously draws people in who've got that passion. Because the other thing I was going to say, I'm fortunate enough now to have kids of my own, and you see the purity that comes through with children. Because the truth is, like, they're just innocent. They're just ready to accept what is what the world delivers to them. So it's also the most delicate and precious part of anyone's life, because if you get it right, it's fantastic, but if you get it wrong, it's devastating. And this is why I said about what you can teach people in schools, like teach kids in schools, that aren't, it's not on the curriculum. Of course, you need your English, your maths, your science, and all of the staples. You need to know those core subjects inside and out to get a good job, etc. But at some point in your life, having those like ethical skills, the morality, the understanding of what it is to be a good person, to treat people right. And, you know, no one's really going to stand it. You get a little bit of it, but no one's really going to give you this open conversation like we're having now.
Yeah, you're right.
Give you time to contemplate, and maybe draw on some examples as well. Because I think also when you're young, your ego is just developing, you know, and when you go through those teenage years, you're thinking like, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? What do I get out of this? You know, being very honest, when you're a teenager, you start looking around, you realise what status is, you realise that you want people to respect you, you want people to like you, you want to be popular. And sometimes people go off in different directions to try and obtain some sort of status, you know. And that is so important because you can quite quickly go in wrong directions. And before you know it, your life can be quite different to what maybe you thought. And I just think it's a key thing to have an open chat about. So I'm going to sort of move on a little bit from that because I want to talk about as things progress, you know, because people will know you. They'll look at you and say, look, it's KayTime. They'll look at you and say, that's who you are. So let's chat about, because I think I've said this to you before as well, like a lot of people, you'll know Malvin, you'll know KayTime because, of course, that's the persona that he puts in front of the camera and appears on YouTube. But, like, not many people really know you for who you are. And I just thought this is a great opportunity just to sort of talk a little about yourself, get a better understanding of who, you know, Malvin is as the man. So let's move on from those early years. So what happens as you got a little bit older?